The water situation, the fact that they have a water problem isn't surprising at all.
The Middle East is getting hotter. The climate's changing and it's raining less and less.
People can live without a lot of things. No one can live without water.
River Jordan is one of the most iconic rivers in the world, spanning a long distance and connecting multiple countries. It is also one of the most culturally relevant rivers in the world, given its deep connection with all three Abrahamic faiths. However, recently, the water level has drastically reduced. And if that wasn't enough, archaeologists have just discovered terrifying secrets at the bottom of the river. What is the cause of this sudden decline in water levels? What was unveiled beneath the water? Join us as we unravel the mystery behind the Jordan River finally drying up. Number 1. A dying life force. For several generations, the Jordan River has been a vital lifeline for millions of people in various places, from Israel to Jordan to Palestine, creating a deep connection to the sacred waterway. However, recent times have witnessed a rather troubling transformation of this iconic river, a decline that affects the livelihoods of millions of people and also poses a major threat to the ecosystem that relies on the waters. Although we have seen similar declines in other rivers around the world in the Middle East, China, and Europe, there is something very scary about this particular river that has been prophesied about for hundreds of years. The Jordan River has been very important to the local culture in the regions which it serves. The magnificent river has witnessed the rise and fall of empires and the birth of great civilizations over millennia, remaining instrumental in determining the fate of the Middle East. Its awe-inspiring blue waters and enchanting landscapes have served as a wellspring of inspiration for artists, poets, and musicians. Besides its symbolic and religious significance, protecting the Jordan River is crucial for the region's well-being. The river's waters play a vital role in irrigation, especially in areas with irregular rainfall, supporting diverse crop cultivation. The fertile riverbanks contribute to a large harvest, sustaining the local population and fostering economic growth through exports. But the story of the drying Jordan River is one of human activity, such as the building of dams and conflict, becoming a harsh reality that millions of Palestinians, Israelis, and Jordans must face. However, it also acts as a strong call to action, a reminder of the pressing need to deal with the issues endangering this priceless waterway and striving to restore it. Number 2. Religious importance. The reasons for the restoration of this river go beyond just its beauty, but also its spiritual significance to the inhabitants of these regions and many around the world. The Jordan River is more than just a place on the map or a part of history. It holds great importance in the stories of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The Jordan River is a key player in ancient tales in Judaism and Christianity. For instance, it's the river that the Israelites, led by Joshua, crossed to finally reach the Promised Land after years of wandering in the desert. Spiritual tales of prophets, such as Elijah and Elisha, played out by the river. Also, it was at this river that John the Baptist performed sermons and carried out baptisms, including the renowned one involving Jesus. As a result, the Jordan River carries profound spiritual meaning for Christians globally, who are drawn to the sacred waters as pilgrims, following in the footsteps of Jesus. The Jordan River's significance also extends to Islam, as it is regarded as one of the 4 rivers of paradise mentioned in the Quran. Moreover, the river is intertwined with the stories of several prophets and big figures in Islamic tradition, making it a site of great importance for Muslims. The current drying up of the Jordan River carries a symbolic resemblance to the biblical account of the river's miraculous drying up. Just as the biblical narrative mentions the Jordan River parting to allow the Israelites to cross into the Promised Land, the present-day shrinking water levels of the Jordan River serve as a valid reminder of the vulnerability of this vital waterway. It prompts us to reflect on the historical importance of the river and the urgent need for conservation efforts to ensure its preservation for future generations. Number 3. Why is the river drying up? So what exactly is causing this river to dry up? If we want to understand why the Jordan River has finally dried up, we will need to explore the typical path of the water body. The upper course of the Jordan River begins at its origin and stretches until it reaches the majestic Sea of Galilee. From there, the river takes on its lower course, flowing towards its ultimate destination, the Dead Sea. What differentiates this river is its remarkable location. Unlike most rivers that travel flat terrain, the Jordan River flows through a structural depression, looking hollow in the surrounding land, making it the lowest elevation river. The Jordan River begins on Mount Hermon, shared by Syria and Lebanon, then flows southward through northern Israel to the Sea of Galilee. Beyond the Sea of Galilee, it acts as a natural border, separating Israel and the West Bank on the west from Jordan on the east. After this boundary, it continues, joining contributors such as the Banias, Dan, Hasbani, Yarmouk, and Zarqa rivers, before peacefully merging with the Dead Sea as its final destination. The length of this river makes it easy for it to serve millions of people in this region, providing them with sustenance. However, the struggle for control over the river's precious water resources has brought about this alarming occurrence. Consequently, a severe water shortage has gripped the region, affecting the livelihoods of millions who depend on the river for survival. One of the key factors worsening the situation is the poor water management policies pursued by the countries surrounding the Jordan River. Syria, for instance, has been diverting significant amounts of water from the Yarmouk River, one of Jordan's main sources, for its agricultural and domestic needs. Through the construction of dams and irrigation systems, Syria has drastically reduced the downstream water flow to Jordan and Israel. Further depleting the river's resources, Syria has also faced severe drought, leaving the Yarmouk River completely dried up in some areas as barren wastelands of cracked mud and dust. This has led to a severe water shortage in the region, threatening the survival of those who rely on the river, including farmers unable to grow crops and communities struggling to access clean drinking water. Israel, too, has played a role in the decline of the Jordan River. The construction of a dam at the Sea of Galilee, the largest freshwater lake in Israel, has taken over 50% of the water that should naturally flow into the Jordan River. This diversion has significantly reduced the river's flow and contributed to its gradual dry-up. The people of Jordan, who have depended on the river for centuries to meet their daily needs, have been directly impacted by these actions. Excessive water extraction for agricultural and domestic purposes has emerged as another major issue driving the river's decline. Farmers and households along the river pump water without regulation or control, heavily reducing water levels in some areas. The river has drastically reduced, and it is now incapable of meeting the needs of local communities. Untreated wastewater, industrial waste, and runoff from agriculture have worsened the situation. These pollutants are carelessly discharged into the river, leading to a decline in water quality and the deterioration of the river's ecosystem. The once thriving life of the river and its surroundings is now at risk, endangering various plant and animal species. The ongoing refugee crisis in the Middle East, sparked by the Syrian conflict, has exerted additional strain on the region's resources, including water. Jordan, a country that has generously provided refuge to millions of displaced Syrians, has experienced a doubling of its population since the conflict began. Presently, over 750,000 Syrian refugees reside in Jordan, placing even more pressure on the already limited water resources. Many refugees live in camps lacking proper water and sanitation facilities, contaminating nearby water sources, including the Jordan River. Furthermore, the camps demand substantial amounts of water for cooking, hygiene, and sanitation, further depleting the river's resources. As a result, this leads to several consequences for both the ecosystem and inhabitants of these regions. More frequent and severe droughts caused by global warming reduce the river's water supply, and higher temperatures increase evaporation, further depleting the region's water resources, leaving communities that once survived alongside the river to face severe water shortages, leading to increased competition and conflicts. The environmental impact is significant, with ecosystems once filled with plant and animal life now degraded. Wetlands, crucial for migrating birds and wildlife, have disappeared, causing a decline in the presence of life. The reduced river flow also affects the Dead Sea, which is connected to the Jordan River. The drastic decrease in water inflow causes the Dead Sea to shrink rapidly, leading to sinkholes and the destruction of tourist sites. Although human actions have proven to have great effects on these sacred waters, there are more natural reasons behind the drying up of the Jordan rivers. The Jordan River is subject to a natural phenomenon greatly influenced by its unique characteristics. Flowing through the Jordan Rift Valley, a unique formation resulting from the separation of large slabs of rock in the earth, the river finds itself in one of the most geologically active regions on our planet, spanning from Syria to Mozambique. The Jordan Rift Valley is part of the expansive Great Rift Valley. Within this valley, a series of geological features significantly impact the water flow of the Jordan River. A significant feature is the Dead Sea Transform Boundary, a major boundary line that stretches along the valley. This boundary is the difference between the African and Arabian tectonic plates, causing seismic activity in the region. Regarding the Jordan River, the movement of the Dead Sea Transform Boundary leads to the creation of depressions due to the opposing motion of the faults to the sides. As the plates move, rocks stretch and break, forming steps or terraces that trap water and slow the river's downstream flow. Another geological characteristic of the Jordan Rift Valley that affects the water flow of the Jordan River is the caving in of that region, which refers to the sinking of the Earth's surface, a common occurrence in rift valleys. In the Jordan Rift Valley, caving in is caused by the stretching and cracking of the Earth's crust, voids, and cavities filled with water. This has several consequences for the water flow of the Jordan River. Firstly, it triggers the formation of holes and depressions within the Jordan Valley, causing risks to people and infrastructure. These geological features affect the smooth downstream movement of water. Secondly, caves affect the Jordan River in two main ways, one of which is hindering the restoration of groundwater, which is crucial for the river. Water normally seeping into the ground to refill the aquifer is reduced due to caves. Secondly, the caves change the river's course by creating new channels, redirecting the natural flow of water. In simpler terms, these caves disrupt the groundwater supply and shift the river's path. In addition to depressions and ground caves, erosion plays a crucial role in shaping the flow patterns of the Jordan River. Erosion, caused by the gradual wearing down of the Earth's surface by water and wind, has shaped the river's path over millions of years. The Jordan River passes through narrow canyons and gorges with steep walls, hindering the free flow of water. Moreover, erosion has led to the formation of alluvial fans, cone-shaped sediment deposits at the base of mountains and hills. These fans act as barriers, preventing downstream water progress and contributing to the river drying up. Number 4. Discoveries in the Jordan River. Upon the drying up of some river regions, archaeologists have found secrets hidden beneath the depths of their water. In 2021, archaeologists discovered something amazing in the southeastern desert of Jordan. Concealed for approximately 9,000 years, a number of stone carvings emerged, offering an interesting view into our distant past. These carvings show two human-like faces engraved into the stone and a carving of a desert kite used for hunting gazelles. The site also includes an altar, a hearth, marine fossils, and even animal figurines dating back 9,000 years, ranking among the oldest known artworks in the Middle East. This discovery also uncovers a sunken Neolithic village beneath the waters of the Jordan River in Israel, a submerged city from around 8,000 years ago. A massive flood swept through the area, causing the water levels of the Sea of Galilee and the Jordan River to rise. As a result, an entire village, complete with stone houses, pottery, flint tools, and animal bones, was submerged and remarkably preserved beneath the water's surface. In 2013, a team of archaeologists explored the seabed of the Sea of Galilee using sonar and underwater cameras. Their search led to the interesting discovery of a strange arrangement of stones that hinted at something unusual. Curious, they closely examined the site, revealing the submerged remains of a large settlement with buildings, wells, walls, and graves. Further exploration uncovered a treasure trove of artifacts, including pottery vessels, flint tools, and various objects offering insights into the lives of the ancient inhabitants of this land. Number 5. Efforts to restore the river. It's good to know that efforts are underway to revive the Jordan River and address the water shortage crisis, although it's a slow and challenging journey. International organizations and regional initiatives are working towards establishing sustainable water management practices and fostering cooperation among countries that share the river. The United Nations and non-governmental organizations are engaged in projects focused on wastewater treatment and reuse to reduce pollution and increase the availability of clean water. However, political tensions, historical conflicts, and competing national interests persist, making it difficult to find sustainable solutions. Instead of tampering with nature, the concerned parties, including Israel, should focus on purifying the waters of the Mediterranean and the Red Sea to meet their water needs. The parties involved should agree on how to invest in the Jordan River and the Dead Sea in a fair and environmentally friendly manner. Despite the efforts made to address the problem, it's clear that the primary obstacle to reviving the Jordan River and the Dead Sea is Israel. Therefore, an international campaign involving Israeli environmental groups and activists would be crucial to raising awareness about the urgency of saving the Dead Sea. The campaign should pressure Israel to restore the natural flow of the Jordan River and bring life back to it and the Dead Sea.